Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Scouting 5, recapping scouting news from around the world for the week of February 15th, 2021. I'm Scouter Ken, and today I'm recording from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I know I've mentioned the St. Albans Gang Show before on Scouting 5 episodes. This is a UK thing. It's an annual performance put on by Scouts and Guides, young people between the ages of 11 and 25 specifically. And it's been going since 1980. Since then, thousands of youth have performed in it. Normally, it's an evening of singing and dancing, acting, comedy sketches, performed by Scouts and Guides from all over the St. Albans district. And it's usually a sellout crowd, and is rehearsed for many, many months leading up to the week-long event that is the Gang Show and all of the performances that comprise it. Of course, this year it has been cancelled due to the ongoing pandemic, which is having a particularly hard impact in the UK right now. But there is an interview, and you can find the link in the show notes, with Hermione Drew, one of the Gang Show's producers, talking about how the pandemic has affected the Gang Show community after the decision was made to cancel it. I would encourage you to check that out. A little closer to my own home in Alberta, Canada, big congratulations go to the first Blueberry Scouts, who are celebrating 40 years as a scout group this year. They are based out of the Blueberry Community Hall, which is in Parkland County. It's in Alberta, not too far from Edmonton. And they will be holding a virtual celebration during Scout Week, which is next week, to celebrate their anniversary. The first Blueberry will eventually hold an in-person celebration for the 40th anniversary as well. They're hoping maybe to do a barbecue or some type of event in the spring. They'll make do with the virtual celebration for now. And in particular, they're also looking forward to taking part in many of the Scouts Canada activities that are taking place during Scout Guide Week next week, including the virtual campfire that will be capping it off on Saturday. Now, here's an interesting partnership. Scouts Victoria and Coca-Cola are teaming up. They're a couple of organizations, among several, that are working to change the state government. So Victoria is a state within Australia. And Coca-Cola and Scouts Victoria are working to change the state government's plans for a container deposit scheme. So this would be for, drinking cans and bottles of the like. Those of you who are in Canada and familiar with how this works, I'm sure. They are keen, the Scouts are keen to adopt a somewhat different model of this program that's used actually in another state within Australia, Queensland, and also in the Northern Territory and in South Australia and in Western Australia, which would allow local sporting clubs and charities and community groups to collect recyclables and pocket the refunds. Evidently, the Victorian government is aiming for a somewhat different model that would disallow this activity. And again, speaking as one who has engaged in many a bottle drive, I can certainly appreciate and emphasize just how useful bottle drives and collecting these recyclables and returning them for the deposit is as a fundraiser for scout groups and many other organizations besides. So I do wish the Scouts of Victoria and Coca-Cola as well, I guess, all the best in convincing the Victorian government to change their plans and to adopt a model for container deposits that would allow community clubs to benefit from the donation of recyclables by their communities. One of the neat benefits of the switch to virtual scouting that has taken place in the last year has been that scout groups around the world have been able to connect with each other. We've talked about a few examples on different Scouting 5 episodes before. The latest example is two groups of scouts, one in Tampa, Florida, and one in Surrey, England, who, instead of swapping letters, which of course takes weeks to travel the great distance between those two places, they're exchanging videos, which arrive within seconds. The connection between the two groups actually goes back about a decade. A scouter from the UK was vacationing with his sons in the United States, and they stayed with a family in North Carolina who were also heavily involved in the scouting movement there, and they kind of kept in touch over the years. And of course, last year with the pandemic forcing many groups to move to online meeting models, they thought, well, why not reconnect and why not have our scouts connect? And so they started producing videos for each other and have been sharing them since then. So that is really, really cool. And finally, some news from the World Organization of the Scouting Movement. Scouts around the world have collectively contributed approximately 2 billion hours, that's billion with a B, of community service through their Messengers of Peace initiative, the aim of which is to improve the sustainability of the planet by promoting peace and acting as environmental leaders and championing equality around the globe. This puts Scouting worldwide halfway towards fulfilling a commitment that it made to contribute 4 billion hours of community service towards the UN's Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. That pledge was made in 2010, so we're about right on track. I think the 2 billion hours is a 2020 number or a very early 2021 number. So, halfway there, halfway there. These 2 billion hours have played out across more than 16 million local projects and other actions taken throughout the world. Everything from supporting communities devastated by the floods in Haiti, to leading peacebuilding efforts in the Congo, to facilitating interfaith dialogues in Indonesia. It's just, scouts around the world have stepped up and in their own ways and in their own communities contributed just hours and hours, literally billions of hours of time towards making the world a little bit of a better place. Which, isn't that the scouting principle, right? Leave wherever you go a little bit better than when you found it. Why not the world too? And that is all the news I have for you this week. Thank you again for listening, and until next time, be prepared.